See, this is Kenneth Eric Church, a very popular American country music singer and songwriter. And most people know Eric Church for his beautiful style of music, his gritty, unconventional style of music. And speaking of unconventional, he may have given one of the best unconventional style of commencement speech that I think there is something so powerful in there, not just for the graduating class from his alma mater in North Carolina, but I also think for all of us too. He had a guitar in his hands, and I'm going to call this the six strings of life. I want you to listen to this snippet.
Someone's comments, someone's criticism, someone's cold opinion is going to try to convince you to retune yourself to match what they think you should sound like. Do not let them touch your string. You were made uniquely, wonderfully, distinctly. There's a sound only you can make, a voice that has never existed before you and will never exist again. A contribution only you can bring, a way of seeing that belongs to only you. The world does not need another cover song. It needs an original. Six strings of life and willingness to keep them in tune. Six principles, six pillars. When all six are in tune with each other, the chord your life makes is full and resonant and true. All six will drift, not one or two, all six, in their own time, in their own season. Your faith will go quiet when you need it loud. Your family will get complicated in a way only the people who love you most can complicate things. You will go through hard seasons with your spouse. Your ambition will hollow out and your resilience will wear thin. Your community will start to feel like an obligation, and your world will try to sand down the edges of exactly who you are. This is not failure. This is not weakness. It's the inevitable, universal experience of living in an imperfect world that doesn't stop to let us tune up. And the difference between a life that sounds like music and a life that sounds like noise is whether you stop and listen. Whether you're honest enough to hear which string has drifted out of tune and humble enough to make the adjustment instead of just turning up the volume and hoping nobody notices. Because you will notice. The part of you that knows what the chord should sound like will always notice. It will not let you go. Life won't be right until it is tuned. Trust what your heart hears and is telling you about your song. So graduates, now I encourage you to take your six strings, make it something worth hearing, and play your song as I leave you with mine.
So what are those six strings of life, you may be wondering? I took a few notes to summarize what he had talked about. The first string he calls the low E. The low E string represents faith. And he was teaching this graduating class to always remember to lean in on their foundation, their faith, whatever it is that has grounded them, that has helped them pull through all moments of life, to continue to build on that foundation as they approach and venture into the world. The second one he calls the A string. The A string represents family. And he says, the A string is not a holiday string. It is an everyday string. Protect it. The third one is the D string, which he references as your spouse or your partner or the person that you're simply choosing to do life with. The person that you know you need to keep holding on to and work through life in both the easy moments and also the hard moments, and reminding the class about that person. That is a D string. Now the next string was the G string. If you guys listen to his video, everybody got a chuckle out of it. And I loved how he said it, because he said, look, I didn't name that string, but what he references the G string is ambition and resilience. And he says, go for the things you want, and when you fail, tune that string back up and keep going. The next string is the B string, and the B string represents community. He talks about build the things your community needs, even if the internet will never see it. Especially in our world today where everything isn't gonna be celebrated much if it doesn't make its way on social media. And of course, such a graduating class, which most people are very young, very in tune with the social media world, reminding them that still dedicating time to community is always important. And the next string, which is the last one, he calls it high E. And specifically what he referenced that is social media. My favorite part, this is one of my favorite parts of the whole speech. He said, someone's comment, criticism, cold opinion is going to try to convince you to retune yourself to match what they think you should sound like. Do not let them touch your string. You were made uniquely. There is a sound only you can make, a voice that has never existed before you and will never exist again. A contribution that only you can bring. A way of seeing that belongs to you. He said the world doesn't need another cover song. It needs an original. And I think his speech was so beautifully done. And I think there were so many beautiful lessons in there. For me, my favorite part is the analogy he used, which is what he does with his guitar. He is a popular country music artist. I went to do some more research on his work, and one of the things I learned about him was he always wears these sunglasses on stage. And for a long time, people didn't know why, but he does that because of the lights, and they were hurting his eye and his contact lenses. But that is what he does now to protect his eyes. His music, some people don't even like his style of music because he typically is very unpopular. Dances to the beat of his own drums, does things a little bit differently. And I think all these 6 strings of life and reminders that he gave this class was so awesome. And I think there's some lessons in there that at least it is a reminder to myself that I think we all can learn from. I spoke a few weeks ago about we're about to hear a lot of commencement speeches. I heard one from Malika Andrews when she was at her alma mater in Portland. But I always try to say a lot of these commencement speeches, there has to be something in there that a lot of these kids who are about to enter this world, which is so scary, which is so uncertain. A lot of these kids for the first time are about to be taken out of a bubble that they are so used to being in school, having schedules, a world that may be so unforgiving to a lot of things. Like in school, they may be able to get a makeup test, they may be able to do a redo. There's some things in life they may never get that. I think a lot of these commencement speeches for some of these kids may be exactly what they need to remind them that everything is going to be okay. And I couldn't have loved this speech much more. I love the analogy, the 6 strings of life, and just reassuring these kids they're going to be okay. It was just great to see him give this to his alma mater. So that is one of the best things I heard today. Not that I would share again. These things are great reminders to myself, and hopefully they will be a good reminder for you as well whenever you need them. As always, be human. Don't forget to be kind. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Thank you all for listening. I got to drive. I'm going to head out. Shout out to Eric Church for this powerful message. Shout out to North Carolina. As a sports fan, I've always loved watching their basketball. Football, not so much, but hopefully they'll get better. Story for another day. You have a good day. Take care. Bye-bye.